Hey, welcome to another Chef Knives to Go quick look product review. I'm Steve Gamache, and what we have this time is obviously a cutting board. So this is the end grain African mahogany 18 by 12 inch by 1.5 inch thick cutting board. African mahogany is also known as sapele wood, but it's a beautiful wood. It's kind of a in between the darkness of a walnut with the lightness of, let's say, a cherry or a maple. So it's kind of that in between. It's kind of a nice brown, medium brownish color. And you'll get, these will vary depending on the particular wood that the maker gets at a certain time. This is produced by Jones Cutting Boards, Martin Jones. It's family owned and operated. I have had a Martin Jones cutting board for about 2 years. It's an 18 by 12 by 1.5 like this one, and it's been great. They're flat, they're really well made. It hasn't warped on me, hasn't cracked on me. It's just worn great, and it's great on the knife edges, and just an excellent, excellent product. These things will last a lifetime. You can get them to the next generation. If you take care of these and they take care of them, these will last a long time. It's an heirloom quality product, really well made, tight glue joints, nice fit and finish all the way around. One of the impressive things about the cutting boards is the packaging. They do an awesome job packaging these up, and they're going to ship directly from the maker through Chef Knives to Go. But they've got these packaged in paper and then bubble wrap like crazy around top of that, and then in a box, and they're just extremely well packaged for the long haul. They're pretty well oiled out of the box, but you'll want to go ahead and oil these. There's some instructions on the back side of the label, but generally they recommend oiling these pretty often to start with, and then as they get more saturated, then you can back off of that and do that less frequently. But it's important to keep them oiled so the moisture doesn't suck in there too much, and to just keep these things, working great. You don't use soap and water on them typically. You'll typically just rinse them off, wipe them down, or rinse them off, possibly in the sink with water. I don't really do that very often, but if you do dry them on edge so that they dry evenly. Don't dry them flat like this. You'll typically do this when you dry them. But again, just great product. They are available with or without rubber feet. So when you order these through Chef Knives to Go, you can specify rubber feet, and they'll put 4 of these glued and screwed on there on the cutting board. The advantage of the rubber feet is they're nice and soft and pretty grippy, so they should grip nicely on most surfaces. That's the advantage. You don't have to put anything under it, like a grip mat or anything like that. I guess the disadvantage of putting rubber feet on there is that on the flip side, you wouldn't be able to use that as a double-sided board. So one advantage, one disadvantage. So one of the cool things about being able to use both sides is you can use one side for cutting and let that wear a little bit, and then use the other side for presentation if you want. This would be a great, tray for cheeses and various appetizers, whatever. So it makes a nice presentation tray. Or you can simply have 2 different sides you use over time for wear, or, one side for meats, one side for not. Totally up to you how you do use that, but great product. The actual measurement on this, it's about 1.5 inches thick. This one's about 17.75, just under 18 inches long and just under 12 inches wide. These will vary just slightly from, board to board on size, but it's roughly 18 by 12. 18 by 12 is big enough for a full size chef knife, no problem. This is a 210, probably about a 215 millimeter knife on the edge. And this is a K-tip Gyuto, really cool knife, by the way, a Matsubara Blue No. 2, really interesting knife. Got in this shipment from Mark from Chef Knives to Go. But the general rule is if you can fit the knife diagonally on the board is big enough to use that knife. And you can see I could get a 240 on here, no problem if I wanted to. And I've used 240s with my 18 by 12 all the time, works great. It's big enough where you can use quite a bit of product, even move it around and store things on different parts of the board if you want, but it's also small enough where you can pull it on and off the countertop, and it's not super heavy. It's got a pretty good heft to it, but it's not so heavy that you don't want to move it. So it will, if you want to wash it, it will fit in a sink, which most standard sinks this will fit in there. If you need to wash it down with some warm water or scrub it a little bit with a scrub brush or something, you could do that. So it will fit in a sink if that's important to you. Trying to think. That's about it for the board. It's really well made. The glue joints are tight, very flat out of the box. This is nice enough looking where you can let it sit on the counter if you wanted to, but just a great Great product. So again, I've used one for a couple years, and they're just very high quality. Nice guy. Martin Jones is a great guy. Nice family business he's got going on. So these are available through Chef Knives to Go. So if you're interested in an heirloom quality board that's not, you know, crazy on the price, and the craftsmanship is really, really excellent on these things. So this is the end grain 18 by 12 by 1.5 inch African mahogany cutting board through Chef Knives to Go.